It is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm here and the Jasmine brand is here. And it's like a friends party in here because Aida Rodriguez is here too.
Yes.
Yay. I'm happy to be here.
Aida, I was so inspired when we did that whole Mastery of Comedy series that I actually have this segment called Mastery of Comedy, and it is focused on comics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on
That's
Way Up with
nice.
Angela Yee. So we're highlighting you today
Oh, well, thank you.
on Mastery of Comedy and your illustrious career thus far.
Illustrious is correct.
Yes,
That's
embrace
the perfect
it.
word.
But what I love about you, Aida, is that, and I discuss this with other people too, is that the content of what you talk about, because it's very personal, right? You talk about your own life and how, culture and everything, but you also can talk about politics, but you also can talk about dating. And I feel like it's very...
Well-versed.
well-rounded
Yes.
too. Some people can only talk about like one thing and stay, and some people are scared also
Yeah.
in their comedy to go certain places, but you go there. Can you talk about how you got to that point where you were able to do that?
You know what's funny? I started on the edge. When
You
I
did?
started, yeah, because I started stand-up a grown-up, right? And so when I started doing stand-up, I was like already a woman. And so I went on stage. I just needed to learn how to shape it, learn the technique, like the mechanical stuff, format. But I was already going there. And so I feel most comfortable in that place. I think it's relatable. I think when I get the reaction of people who like, oh, yeah, I know that too. I feel that too. And I feel like as a woman, especially a woman of color, if it's fun to push the envelope.
How do you gauge if you're going too far or not?
You know, I gauge it by how I'm feeling. If,
Okay.
if I'm starting to feel like yucky, I stop. Like
okay.
I stop myself. I don't let the audience tell me though.
Right.
It's really just like, because I've done some jokes that are really uncomfortable and I've gotten them to a place where the audience laughs, and then there's some stuff I just have to get rid of and say it's not working.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's been times in, doing comedy during times that there's a lot of turmoil and having to address certain audiences, because I've seen you in all different types of spaces.
Yeah, you
I've
have.
seen when you were filming your special, Fighting Words. I've been there for that, and I've seen those people came specifically to see you.
Yeah.
But then sometimes, what's it like when there's an audience that's there and they didn't know what to expect? And it could be people who are so uncomfortable that they even leave.
I like those audiences also.
You said that,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm conflict driven. It happened in childhood. No, you know what I will say is I have never, and I don't know anyone who has ever walked into a music concert and said, I wonder who's playing tonight. Nobody. But with comedy, people do that. They go to comedy shows and then they want you to tailor your stand-up for them because they showed up. So I lean into who I am. I don't code switch. I don't change my routine for anybody. I went to the Middle East and did my, I could have gotten stoned to death or something. And I
Right.
just didn't change it. I don't believe in that. I just feel like that's who I am. This is what I do. And if you show up, then buckle up. Let's go.
And like you said, you started comedy as an adult, right? Which is, I think, amazing because sometimes people feel like, you have to have been working on this from, grew up into it and things like that.
I'm the Halle Berry of comedy. No.
That's right.
But it is a certain level of confidence that comes with that because you've lived life, you have some amazing things to talk about. But one thing I feel like that you've grown more into talking about is your children, because that's
Yeah.
something that has been, I think, previously a little more off limits to you. But now it's kind of like, okay.
They're adults now. Yeah, now it's, and plus with their permission also. And anybody I talk about from my family and my stand-up, I've gotten the sanction.
Even your uncle that used to.
Yeah, all my family knows. Yes, and my uncle, one of my uncles has passed away. So, but I liberate him through my stand up because he lived in the closet, and he's dead because of that. He was murdered in a hate crime. So, I'm not going to perpetuate that in my family and keep that secret because I feel like he should be free at some point. So
Right.
I liberate him through that.
And comedy a lot of times does come from pain. And I think from you've been able to take some of the things that could be considered tragic in your life and somehow laugh about it. And I feel like when I interviewed Marlon Wayans, he was saying that too. In his family, they could find jokes at a funeral. Like they could find something to laugh about in any situation.
Yeah, it's a survival mechanism for many people of color and poor people. Like we do the dozens. It's always been something that a lot of us do in order to get through. And quite honestly, it gives you a more optimistic perspective on life than to be crying, and you can laugh through something. You know, laughing at a funeral is a beautiful thing. To be able to take a moment from that person who passed away and have a moment of laughter is such a homage to that person, instead of, just falling on the ground and scraping the floor, which we all do too, crying.
Right.
Oh, why? But that's about you. That's not about that person.
Well, I feel like funerals and homegoings and stuff like that really is about about everyone else that's left, not so much the person that's gone.
You're grieving the loss,
Yeah.
but when you laugh, you are honoring that person's memory.
Right.
And I think there's power in that. I like being able to find the funny in all things. It's become a talent for me. Like I'm like, what's funny about this? 'Cause
Right.
it's gonna happen.
One thing about me too, I can laugh about anything. Also, I go through some of the craziest situations, but it does help me because I also try to look at it like one day this is going to be a great story.
Yeah.
To tell once I make it through, because I think it's all about knowing that you are going to make it through to the other side, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and if you're not, then you still won't be around. So
You're such a comedian. I want to ask you, you've been in this business for a while. Has there been a change in terms of how women are accepted in the area of comedy since you started?
And financially too,
Yeah.
like how women are compensated.
Yeah.
Well, I think, what's very telling, I think Ellen DeGeneres is the one woman who was in that Forbes list consistently. I think Amy Schumer was on it one time. I don't know any women of color who have been in the Forbes like top 10 most successful comedians. So when you look at it from that perspective, there's a lot of changes that need to take place because a lot of I don't know a Latin woman who ever broke the ceiling. I'm like, I know Angela Johnson has probably been the most popular, most successful in terms of name recognition. But I think that, a lot of women are showing up and they're busting through. I think the white girls have been able to have a bigger careers. They can be dirty, because they're always telling us what we can't say, what we shouldn't say, what we shouldn't do. But the most successful women in comedy are all kind of dirty, you know, have all been pretty graphic and blue. And
is there camaraderie with the white women and the women of color in comedy?
I
at
don't
all?
fuck with them. No. I don't mess with them. No, I'm joking. I'm cool with everybody. I think I cannot speak on how I know, like Amy Schumer has been very good to Yamanika.
She's on Life and Beth. Yamanika's on Life and Beth.
Yamanika's on Life and Beth with her, but she's, they've toured with her. She takes women of color on the road with her. And they open for her. Chelsea Handler also has Sydney. So I do think that there are some, some women. I'm cool. Me and Nikki Glazer say hi to each other when we see each other.
Hey.
But I don't, I think that it's women in comedy are socialized to being competitive with each other. They have, they have us scrambling for the crumbs while the men eat the feast. So I think that there's a lot that can happen to create better relationships with us. Because I think a lot of it, especially during George Floyd, a lot of people were like, I had a black friend. You know, like, I take black people with me on the road. It felt a little performative. But it'd be cool to see some genuine, stuff. I do know that there are some people, like Amy Schumer rides for New York. Her movies, you're going to see Keith Robinson, you're going to see Marina, you're going to see the New York comedians in her projects. She always rides for her people. But she's a rarity. I wouldn't say that a lot of the women do that, but she definitely does.
And another thing that you personally have been doing is producing specials for other people. So let's talk about that passion for you, because, I look at you, Ida, and you're always working and you're always like pitching, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah,
some people feel like I just, go on the road, do my stand up and hope something good happens. But you are out there like proactively pitching stories, pitching ideas, doing a book too, by the way. So I want to talk about all of those things, but also producing other comics.
Yeah, that was actually one of the highlights of last year for me. Not just producing, but directing 3 specials that are now streaming on HBO. Ian Lara, Marcella Arguello, Gwen LaRocca, and Ralph Barbosa, who is blowing up. He got signed by UTA and 3 Arts. He is like a big deal right now in comedy. Ian Lara is like selling shows. Those are the things that keep me going. Just being able to see younger comedians shine and watching them like thrive and navigate this business it should be like a tree where the branches just keep going with us to tell our stories, because the more we tell our stories, the more power we have. And I just think that in comedy, it's a great way to be able to curate that. So I've been having a good time with that.
I know certain comics because of you. I went to your show too at Caroline's. Rest in peace, Caroline's, because comedy. I know, it's so sad. But I actually follow the comics that you had on the show, because you've introduced me to. I love comedy.
Yeah, you do.
I do, and you've introduced me to people, which I appreciate. And I know because it's not just me, but you're introducing a lot of people to these comics that are coming up under you. Do you feel like people helped you in that way? Because I know
Tiffany
the first time
did.
we had you on was because of Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, Tiffany did. I did that Shaq All-Star Comedy Jam for Showtime. I was on the last episode of it, but I also was touring, and D-Ray was really good to me. It's always been good to me. I toured with Gary Owen and Tony Roberts and Tommy Davidson. Faison Love. I've had Faison Love used to take me on the road with him. Corey Holcomb used to take me on the road with him. It was like very secure men that were not worried about me. Like some of them get kind of weird if you get a lot of attention, but they would take me on the road with them. I've had a great some great people bless me. Russell Peters used to take me on the road with him. So, yeah, I had people show up for me and create a way for me. But Tiffany did it bigger than anybody, because she made sure that, we were properly compensated. We are on Netflix. That lives forever. And it was the first season of They Ready was very, very successful.
Now, let's move away from this business for a second and talk about Aida in personal life. Because I have yet to meet somebody, as long as I've known you, that you've been like, this my man.
Yes. What's your relationship
My man,
status?
my man.
Yeah. What's your relationship status right now?
That's so funny. I'm single. I'm single. I am single, and I'm actually single. No.
Many different ways to say single.
Yeah, I'm single.
She gonna say it again.
But single. But I'm trying to learn how to date.
Okay, you and Jasmine are both.
Yeah. Well, you've always said to me to learn how to date, diversify my portfolio. And
so, are you dating right now?
I am dating.
Okay.
I am dating.
What type of guy does Aida like?
I have it written down.
Okay, let's hear this.
Oh, wait a minute. You
She
really
wrote
do?
it down.
Yeah,
Jasmine, write your list.
I don't have a list. Maybe that's my problem.
I have a list.
Okay.
Because I imagine for some guys it could be intimidating.
Him. Oh, she does. And it's in her notes, and it says
That's a
him.
long list, girl.
It's not that long. Listen, I'm going to read it real quick. Emotionally healthy, honest, loyal, affectionate, reassuring. He's arrived. I don't want somebody who doesn't know what they want to be when they grow up. Committed, respectful, intelligent, successful, tall, dancer. He has to be able to dance. Fun, adventurous, romantic, spontaneous, thoughtful, generous, wise, protector, sincere, passionate, independent, powerful, articulate, and a leader.
Okay. What if he has all of that but a small penis?
'Cause I didn't hear nothing about no sex on that list.
Is it that good? Because that's not on the list.
It's just not for
Public
the
consumption.
notes that are accessible to my daughter who likes to pick up my phone. Of course, I want to be with someone who is sexually healthy and
Sexually healthy.
Is that you can be healthy with a small penis?
You can.
You always do this to me though. You know what? This is I don't know. I just heard all these.
She's so uncomfortable
She's
right
like,
now.
I'm single.
I'm single. I saw this internet woman giving one of these speeches. You
A
know how
guru.
people be always a guru.
She called her an internet
Talking
woman.
Yeah, internet woman got me so mad. She was talking about why you should date a man with a small penis, and she went on and on about, like basically she was like, mess with him because his self-esteem ain't that high, and that
Okay.
way you'll be in control, which I thought was terrible. But yeah, I want to be with some. You know what? I'm a grown woman. Let me stop. And my kids are grown. I want to be with somebody that I'm sexually compatible with. That's
Okay.
a selfless lover. That is somebody who it really enjoys, sex for not just the physical act, but the connection. And this is my first time ever talking about like this ever publicly. I've always really shied away from this. I did lip service and I let Shantae do all the talking. But yeah, I want to be with somebody. I was raised to be of service, to be subservient to a man and to just not advocate for myself. And I believe that this is part of me advocating for myself. Yeah, I don't want to be with somebody who's skittish and weird about sex. I want to be with somebody who is sexual and enjoys it and is good at it.
Okay, see?
I love
we
that.
got to speak it into existence because you get all those things on your list.
Yeah.
I know.
And go to bed mad every night.
with a micro penis.
And it'd be trash. Yeah.
And that's interesting because Jasmine always says that she like guys that are mid to ugly.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Like not super fine, like not super attractive. I like just regular, like I find them attractive, but not,
Yeah, I get
just
it.
just regular.
I
Like
want to see who y'all need a dating show together.
I gotta. You know what? I live in LA, and a lot of the men who are super attractive
oh, thank you.
feel like vapid to me, and there are some who are of substance, that can have smart conversations, but because the city is so superficial, because everything is transactional and it's so rooted in Hollywood, especially the world that I'm navigating, I'm not attracted to those types of men either. Like I don't, it just feels weird. But I like attractive men that don't live in California.
Okay.
That work, they got jobs.
Yeah,
like
they go to work every day. Got it.
What made you do this list though? Like when
It's so long. It's such a long
do you
list.
add to it?
See,
Like
yeah, well, that long. That list is not long, according to the relationship lady that I talked to. Everybody is somebody lady. She was saying
The
you
internet
should,
lady.
you got to write your list, and you should be just like you do with your dreams. Like you should dare to want it all,
right.
Okay.
right? And that was me being like, she was like, "That's it? That's all you want?" And I'm like, "That's all I got."
We got to do your list, Jasmine.
Okay.
And what about another comic? Would you date another comic?
I haven't met a comic that I would want to build a life with, and that's where I am now. Like I want to travel the world, and I want to somebody with health insurance.
Okay.
That I'm a.
With health insurance.
gosh.
God forbid something happened.
I want to
Dental.
date somebody like
Someone who
like
goes to the dentist.
like a
someone
sales
who- yeah.
engineer or something like that.
Okay.
Somebody like that,
Well,
but
let's put
somebody
it in.
who's nerdy.
But you are dating though. Like you've been going, okay. But anybody that you feel like I could see myself making this more serious or
yeah, there's one person that I feel that way about.
okay. All right, well put him on the list.
He on my vision
Ida, but
board.
how do you feel with the success that you've been having? Because I feel like with you, every time I talk to you, it's something new. Because you also have a book deal.
I'm like, you know what it is? I'm a child of immigrants, so I never feel like it's enough. I feel like I got to keep working. Like keep your head down and keep working. And so I'm always like, what's next?
Right, yeah,
like
yeah.
because we got to get money coming in for 2024 and 2025. Like we cool right now. Like, but you never know what's gonna happen.
Right.
But yesterday I woke up and I was so thankful. I said, I'm very thankful for my life and where I am now, especially from where I came from. And I'm blessed, but I want to do more.
Okay. Well, I already know you don't stop. Like I'm like, even when during the pandemic, Ida was like writing show ideas, pitching shows. You got some shows that have been picked up, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm in development right now. I'm excited about the shows, and you know, me and Soledad O'Brien are developing a show. So I'm working.
Okay. Well, I just want to be part of the entourage at some point.
You ain't a part of the entourage. You part of the family. The entourage is
Part of the entourage.
is a what do you call it? A variable. You part of the constant crew.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, I can't wait till I meet this guy. Well, Aida Rodriguez, thank you so much. And everything that's been going on, make sure y'all go watch Fighting Words in case you haven't. And you get to see her journey, too, on that, which I thought was so impactful.
You went.
Oh, yeah, I
went
did.
there.
I forgot. I came to Puerto Rico.
She came and saw me in Puerto Rico. My family didn't even go.
And Aida, let people know where they can find you.
Oh, you can go to funnyaida.com. The Don't At Me tour is happening right now. Phoenix, I'm coming your way May 4th through the 6th. I'm coming to Edmonton in Canada on June 1st through the 3rd, and the San Jose Improv June 9th through the 11th. And for ABFF, I will be for one night only at the Miami Improv on June 13th. That and many more dates, just go to funnyaida.com and get your tickets.
Okay, funnyaida.com. Make sure y'all check her out. Follow her on social media. Go see the show because, you know, I go every chance I get.
She brings it.
And I be bringing people with me.
Yep.
Yeah,
All
half
right.
the audience.
Well, Master Your Comedy with Aida Rodriguez on Way Up with Angela Yee.